Hi friends. Online friends, please type yes that I'm audible and visible. And friends, please close your eyes. चलिए, a quick recap. Akash?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो Bitya, tell us, what had we studied?
Reverse migration.
Reverse migration and
Migration.
caste census also?
Yes.
Tell me about the caste census.
Sir, caste census recently.
A bit louder, beta, so that other students.
Recently, Bihar government have conducted caste census.
That's correct.
For the policy formation and different type of.
All right. Pass it on.
I was absent.
Pass it on. Pass it on. Tell me why the caste census is opposed.
Is opposed.
Opposed.
Sir,
on what grounds?
According to
Gure.
He says that caste census will further increase anti-Brahmin sentiments.
It did increase. It did increase the anti-Brahmin sentiment. Bilkul. Good. Pass it on.
Sir, Veena Das says that our politics has changed from issue-based to identity-based.
Politics has become identity-based instead of issue-based. Pass on.
I haven't revised.
Kyun? Pass it on.
Sir, caste-based census reiterates conflicts, protests, agitations.
Absolutely. It spawns protests, agitations and conflict. Give me arguments in favor of, or which scholars argue in favor of a caste-based census.
Sir, Yogendra Yadav argues in favor of caste census.
Yogendra Yadav. Great. Pass it on. What does Yadav say?
Sir, he says that it is important to get the information so that we can form policies on based of it, so that we can target a particular group who are vulnerable.
It will help us in formulating policies based on empirical data. Yes, what is reverse migration?
So reverse migration is a phenomena in which from the where the migrants are working, they move to their original place, the host, their original inhabitant for some time due to various factors.
ठीक है. Which factors?
So there are various factors responsible, such as in the host region there might be problem of unemployment, which may force them to return to their place of origin.
Okay.
And also some social factors are responsible, such as a festival. They may go festival, death.
Great. Pass it on. What does Dipankar Gupta say?
Dipankar Gupta stated that the migrants are not returning because of economic hardships. Rather, they are fearful of death. They want dignified death.
Yes. So they want that their death-related rituals be performed fully, properly, by their kith and kin. That's why they were migrating back home. Pass it on. How does it affect the society? Reverse migration.
Reverse migration, it brings labor supply to the home state.
It brings
labor supply.
Labor supply to the
home state.
Home state.
Remittances to home states.
Remittances
to home states.
How?
Means when they migrate from the host nation to the
see, they send remittances when they are working in the host region. Once they come back, the remittances will stop or cease. Are you with me?
Labor deficiency in the host nation.
Labor deficiency, बिल्कुल ठीक है. Great. चलिए, I think that's about it. Moving ahead. Now discussing something which has affected us in several ways. It has literally transformed our economies over the past 3 decades. What am I talking about? Yes? Globalization. नहीं, लाल ठीक है. Globalization. Now, globalization is something we are all already quite very familiar with, I suppose. Yes or no? You guys are what I may call the Generation G. Globalization generation, born and raised in the globalization era. So you are very intimately acquainted with the concept of or the process of globalization. What is this process, this economic process of globalization? What does it entail? What does it mean? Or you may have studied it in GS economics. Yes or no? Studied about it. क्या है globalization? क्या होता है इसमें? Brother. Free movement of a process which allows free movement of goods, services and people across the globe. Under less regulated regimes. Great. Any other additions? He's given a rather comprehensive. Has what he said, is it a comprehensive enough explanation of globalization? Or would you like to add anything? Brother? Socio-cultural intermixing, all right. Tell me more about the economic dimension first. You very rightly define globalization. See, basically globalization involves creating a global market. Absolutely. Creation of a global marketplace. है ना? An integrated world market. It involves promotion of which type of trade? Free trade. It involves, as he rightly pointed out, free movement of goods and services and capital and labor across the globe or across national boundaries. Likho. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and I also don't know the spelling, okay? Merriam-Webster dictionary, globalization refers to the development of an increasingly integrated global economy. Marked by free flow of capital, free trade, and tapping off foreign markets. Full stop. According to the Oxford Dictionary, economic globalization is a process by which the whole world becomes a single market. The whole world becomes a single market. Full stop. Various factors of production are freely transmitted from one part of the world to another. What are the various factors? What do you mean by factors of production? अब लैंड तो कैसे ही जाएगा देखो. Factors of production are inputs in the production process. So what will be transferred from one part of the world to another? Labor, capital, technology, है ना? ठीक है? Raw materials, बिल्कुल. Full stop. So friends, in this globalized economy, world economy, it is characterized by some catchphrases, या keywords, like free trade. What do you mean free trade? Trade कर लो मुफ्त. Less restrictions. Elaborate, you're right. Yes. All right. So basically, free trade meaning that foreign players are given free access to the domestic markets. Or the government, the state does not discriminate between foreign players and domestic players. So it does not impose any high tariff walls to prevent easy access of foreign players to the local or the national market. ठीक है ना? Providing a level playing field to foreign players and domestic players. So free trade involves reducing protectionism. You are doing away with protectionist policies. You understand protectionism? Basically, protectionist policies are those which try to protect the domestic industry or favor the domestic industry by somehow disfavoring, by, for example, imposing high tariffs, import tariffs on imported products. You know? So you do away with protectionist policies. नहीं ये सब मत दीजिए. Globalization is based on a neoliberal framework. What is this neoliberal framework? What is neoliberalism as a philosophy? It argues for what? What does neoliberalism stand for? Sorry? Nope. Free markets, absolutely. So the neoliberal philosophical framework espouses a reduction or rollback of the state, or reduction in the role of the state. Right? Specifically, governments should move out of businesses. Absolutely. The government has no business to be in business. है ना? It entails granting a greater role to market forces will determine, but an important role, increasing role will be played by private sector. So reduced role of the state, increased role of the private sector. An increasing role, on the one hand you have a decreasing role of the state, on the other economic policy making is increasingly shaped by who? That's the governing philosophy, but who affects policy making? In a globalized economy, you know it. Big countries, how? Through the global financial architecture. The global financial architecture. Yes or no? Meaning? The Bretton Woods twins and the WTO. Right? So they set the economic agenda. Dhanyavad. What do these bodies do? World Bank, IMF, WTO, not specific, but in general, what all these do? Sorry? So they help countries deal with forex reserves crisis. They mitigate business risk. They play an important role in trade negotiations. Whether it is risk mitigation, trade negotiations, they are dealing with forex crisis, and overall promoting economic growth. ठीक? Globalization of economy is accompanied by parallel processes of liberalization and privatization. Privatization means what were erstwhile PSUs or publicly owned enterprises, be they banks, factories, etc., they are sold off to private players. What's liberalization? Reducing the cobweb of bureaucratic rules and regulations governing business. The maxim of the state governing, state functioning in a globalized world is minimum government, maximum governance. Minimum government, maximum governance. इसका मतलब क्या है? Or specifically, when on the one hand you are talking about rollback of the state. So state is not expected to play, to be manufacturing pins or steel or whatever. Let private sector do that far more, it will do it far more efficiently. So what is the envisaged role of the state in a globalized economy? Government का क्या कर्तव्य या role है? Raise your hands and speak, beta. हाँ. Very importantly, as a facilitator. So it facilitates investments, facilitates entrepreneurial activity, yeah, facilitates business enterprise. And how will it do that? How can the government facilitate business? मुझे business establish करना है, तो सरकार क्या करेगी? मुझे अपना धंधा अच्छे से चलाना है अगर. So one of the parameters on which various governments are competing is on ease of doing business. For example, it can reduce regulations and provide a single window clearance to the investors. It also has to do what? Infrastructure development. Roads, electricity, basics जो है, port infrastructure, along with or in partnership with the private sector, if need be. But then, and also as a regulator. So say, if there is monopolistic tendencies developing in any sector of the economy, the government then may intervene. Okay? But only in case of such exigencies. Not as an active and direct player in the economy. Globalization also entails, friends, an important role by multinational corporations and transnational corporations. Foreign direct investment, foreign institutional investors. They are increasingly sought. A red carpet is laid down for them. Multinational corporates with their brands, with their technologies, they come to various markets or try to tap various markets such as ours. है ना? See, the whole globalization project is based upon what? Or what has helped us to integrate various national economies into a global or world economy. Which developments? Yes, technology. Globalization process has a very definitive technological backbone. And which technologies? Information and communication technologies particularly. So in a globalized world, friends, millions of dollars can be transferred at the click of a button in real time across continents. Yes or no? So it is thanks to these strides made in information and communication technologies that we have been able to integrate various national economies into a single world economy. ठीक? Globalization has resulted in new sectors of the economy emerging, friends. New sectors of the economy. For example, the whole BPO industry. BPO, KPO, LPO, सारे जो PO होते हैं. Back process outsourcing, call centers जिनको हम बोलते हैं. Yes or no? It is was made possible, or it has emerged during the period of globalization. लिखिए, it is not uncommon. It is not uncommon in the era of globalization for a company listed on the New York Stock Exchange you need something? Company listed on the New York Stock Exchange with its manufacturing facilities based in Shanghai, to produce goods for the European market. While the after sale support is provided from a call center in Bengaluru और मनीला. ठीक है ना? ये होती है एक ग्लोबलाइज्ड दुनिया जिसमें हम आज के टाइम में जी रहे हैं. How has this process of globalization affected the Indian economy? Let us try to appreciate. Impact हम we are trying to assess. Impact of globalization. ओवरऑल रेट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ को क्या हुआ है? इंक्रीज हुआ है. क्लियरली द रेट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ इन इंडिया हैज इंक्रीज्ड सिंस वी हैव अडॉप्टेड द economic reforms in early 90s. We have come out of the Hindu rate of growth. Right, Hindus? That's now a thing of the past. And we have embarked on a higher growth trajectory. What is the impact on different segments? For example, what is the impact on small firms, small domestic firms? How does globalization affect them? जब यहां बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां आएंगी तो छोटी छोटी कंपनियों का क्या होता है? सॉरी, रेज योर हैंड्स एंड स्पीक बिटिया. Their condition is worsened. Why? Because the small firms, they find it very difficult to bear the brunt of competition from the multinational corporations. The MNCs have huge advertising budgets, better quality products, cheaper pricing, economies of scale, everything. Because of which the small players, they find it increasingly difficult to survive. Right? So they often bear the brunt of the opening up of the economy. And what's the impact on Big corporates, big domestic corporates. What is the impact of globalization on the big domestic corporates? They get in competition. Okay. Yes, more, Bitya. They receive funding also. Yes, Bitya. Access to foreign markets also, absolutely. In general, friends, with every budget speech, you hear what the finance minister, irrespective of political party, they further open up the economy. For example, they will, increase the FDI limits in different sectors of the economy. Airlines में पहले इतना था, अब इतना बढ़ा दिया. Insurance में पहले इतना था, अब इतना बढ़ा दिया. हाँ? And the captains of Indian industry, who discuss the budget on TV debates, very usual suspects, एक बजाज होगा, एक महिंद्रा होगा, एक टाटा होगा, अगर होगा तो, है ना? Do they welcome the further opening up of the economy or do they oppose it in general? Welcome. Welcome. Please appreciate they do have to face competition from the foreign players. So, and with competition, their old ways will not do anymore. The old inefficient ways of production, marketing, etc. cannot be sustained in the face of external competition. So, the big corporates are forced to either shape up or shut down. So, they are forced to become more efficient. For example, friends, Bajaj, the name was synonymous with scooters. They have stopped making scooters because they no more enjoy a monopoly. Right? So if you don't stand up to the competition, you'll have to shut shop. Saaf baat hai. But they also benefit. The big corporates also benefit with the infusion of funding, infusion of new technology, and access to markets. With globalization. So Tatas have acquired a Jaguar or something? Kya? Peter England. Jaguar तो है ही. हाँ? Land Rover, है ना? Guys, let's come back later. Huh? ठीक है? Lot of these, when these, lot of sectors, they have this condition that when a foreign player enters, they have to have a partnership with a domestic guy. For example, insurance. All the insurance companies are, Bharti AXA. Bharti is the Indian guy. AXA is the foreign company. Yeah, Tata AIG. Tata Indian, AIG foreign kind of a thing. So such collaborations. So there's a lot of infusion of capital also. You know? New technology, international best practices when it comes to work, management. All of these also have a bearing on the Western corporate culture that has come to India. ठीक? What is the impact on us? Customers. As customers. Brother? Hygiene and standard of goods has improved. Hygiene in what sense? Like? Global hygiene standards. For example, हम जब मैकडॉनल्ड्स की आलू टिक्की बर्गर खाते हैं तो उसको हाथ को भी लिफाफे में डाल के हमें टिक्की देता है. Brother? Customers have greatly benefited, he is saying. Why? Absolutely. उनके बीच में लड़ाई bodes well for the customers. Absolutely. We are spoiled for choice. As customers, we are spoiled for choice. Yes or no? Customers greatly benefit from the increased competition. Bitia. Veblen goods क्या होते थे? Just jog my economics. Like Apple phones. Huh? When the price increases, the demand also increases. Huh. Theodore Veblen was the guy, right? Theodore Veblen. Then? Okay. You remember it enough to tell me that this wasn't it. But ठीक है. Huh? Huh. R.K. Morton copied. हाँ. ठीक है. So, absolutely, customers have greatly benefited from the increased competition amongst goods and service providers by increase in the number of choices. So, customers typically now have more choice, goods and services available at every price point, literally every price point. Yes or no? And that too, quality goods, better quality than before, cheaper prices in general than before. देखो, ग्लोबलाइजेशन का एक ही लॉजिक होता है, कस्टमर की जेब में जितना पैसा है निकाल लो. तो अगर मेरी जेब में 200 रुपए है and I want to buy a shirt, can I buy a $200 shirt? Can I buy a shirt for $1,000? There also I'll have multiple options at that price point. Can I buy a shirt for $2,000? Again, multiple choices. 5,000, multiple 20,000, multiple choices. Yes or no? 20 रुपए होंगे वो भी ले लेंगे, कहेंगे अभी आप ये कॉलर रख लो, फिर जब 20 रुपए आएंगे बाकी ले लेना. बट पॉइंट इज दैट द कस्टमर इज स्पॉइल्ड फॉर चॉइस. एक जमाना था शॉर्टेज इकोनॉमी थी, तो अगर इफ आई वांट टेलीकॉम सर्विसेज, आई हैड टू रन फ्रॉम पिलर टू पोस्ट. एक ही कंपनी थी MTNL सरकारी, that would provide me with a landline phone. So I would contact my local MP, member of parliament. Imagine that. That was their power of patronage. हाँ, कि भैया MTNL फोन दिला दो. नहीं ऐसे क्या था ही नहीं मेरे घर में, जाके उनको बोला मैंने कि MTNL फोन दिला दो. Now do I go from pillar to post for a phone connection? I receive 10 calls a day. कि सर मैं पूजा बोल रही हूं एयरटेल से. Yes or no? So increasingly customer orientation हो रहा है, customer centric economy हो रही है. Customer is literally the king in this globalized economy. हर चीज में, प्राइस में, क्वालिटी में, स्पीड ऑफ डिलीवरी में, आफ्टर सेल सपोर्ट में, every which way the customer benefits. Yes or no? जितना पैसा है वो निकाल लो और जिस तरह से निकले वो निकाल लो. आप बस प्रोडक्ट चूज कर लो Amazon पे. You want to pay cash on delivery, you can. You want to pay online through net banking, you can. You are comfortable with Paytm, you can. बस be ready with this amount. Yes or no? ऑनलाइन कर सकते हो, ऑफलाइन खरीद सकते हो, हर तरीके से. बस पैसे ढीले करने के लिए तैयार रहो तो आप अच्छे इंसान हो. राइट? व्हाट इज द इंपैक्ट ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन ऑन से Indian workers? And we've discussed it at length. I'm not discussing again. It's only a recap. We've already discussed it in another section. How the workers affected. Brother, what has improved? Workers' conditions, you're saying, have improved because? So there is increasing pressure to meet or adhere to international labor standards, say laid down in ILO conventions. Yeah, WTO negotiations may there is this point. For example, child labor has significantly reduced in this period. Bitya? Gig work has increased. Informalization of the formal sector has taken place, of the formal workforce has taken place, absolutely. Why? How do you explain that? Sorry, I'll come to you. Absolutely. So international corporates, they are, in cutthroat competition, and they are trying to cut corners wherever they can. Developing economies provide them with a fertile soil for that. Brother? Informalization, all right. Bitya? How? Okay, so you now have concepts like flexi timing. What else? Impact on workers. We had discussed at length. या आपने आप सोच के बताइए बिटिया. So, Indian workers are facing a threat from international workers in other parts of the world. In terms of their skill sets, productivity, cost, everything. Brother? No, but child labor is largely reduced. Okay? So it will be not right to say it has increased. Or brother? How? Okay, and Narayan Murthy has been advocating 70-hour work week. Yes. So there's increased friction, there is change in labor laws, the state has been stepping back. Earlier it was, a socialist state bending in favor of workers in, say, industrial disputes, etc. You recall all that? How has it impacted Indian farmers and agriculture? How has globalization affected farmers and agriculture, brother? Meaning? Link it to globalization. How is globalization affecting agriculture and farmers? Okay, so FDI investments in cold storage technologies will affect the agricultural storage chain. Farmers are getting increasingly dependent on MNCs, say for BT seeds. Sorry, repeat. So that we can get a better margins on products. If we process them, is that what you're saying? हाँ. ठीक है. Because increasingly agricultural produce is being exported, we have to invest in forward and backward linkages, up our game, so that we can reap benefits. Bitya? Better incomes of farmers. बिल्कुल. ठीक है. Also there is government or policy initiatives to transfer land from farming to industry. This is also the era. It is only during this era of globalization that we witness or we hear a lot about farmer suicides. Why is that? How do you explain farmer suicides in the present? How is it linked to globalization? Brother? Yes, Manas? Huh. So people are taking consumption loans. A lot of farmers are taking consumption loans with rising material aspirations attributable to globalization, but since incomes are not rising commensurately, they are taking these consumption loans from local money lenders, etc., landing in a debt trap, and then followed by suicides. Yes? Acha, I said it. You know? Theek? So point is, friends, that is how globalization has affected in very significant ways our economic lives. Yes or no? That's about globalization. Yes or no? No. Please appreciate, friends, globalization is not just an economic phenomena. It is also a social and cultural phenomena. It's not just about economic integration. It's not just about markets and customers and economy and corporates and workers. It is about our day-to-day lives. It won't be an exaggeration to say that the process of globalization affects which aspect of our lives? Each and every aspect of our lives. Globalization is a much wider process than only economic integration. Much wider process. And has significant social, cultural, political, economic ramifications. Arjun Appadurai. Very quote-worthy guy when it comes to globalization. Arjun Appadurai. In his book titled Modernity at Large, Cultural Dimensions of Globalization. He has identified 5 dimensions, 5 scapes of globalization. Scape का मतलब क्या होता है? The suffix scape. Have you heard it anywhere? Where? Goatscaping. लैंडस्केपिंग तो मैंने सुना है. गोटस्केपिंग क्या होती है? पता नहीं. लैंडस्केपिंग हमने सुना है. What is landscape? What's a landscape? No, don't talk to her. Don't. What's a landscape? Have you heard this English word landscape? क्या होता है? You don't have to define it, just explain it. So it's like a beautiful scenery. That's what a landscape is, a beautiful scenery comprising of mountains or vast open spaces. That is what a landscape is. A very picturesque kind of a scenery, right? Landscapes, if you recall from memory, they involve क्या एक प्लेन जमीन दिखा देते हैं ऐसे, हमेशा ऐसे होता है लैंडस्केप, यूं. मतलब it indicates a flow, as if it's in flow matlab in motion. So scapes literally mean various flows that characterize globalization. There are 5 scapes or flows that characterize globalization as follows. Flow मतलब कुछ बह रहा है, बहाव है. 5 चीजें बह रही हैं from one part of the globe to another. The 5 scapes are: 1. Finance scapes. Write it as one word, like this. Finance scapes. Finance scape means free flow of money across the globe. This money may be in the form of plastic currency, digital form. आज के दिन तो भैया ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी, मजाक मजाक में करोड़ों की चीज हो गई. The second is ethnoscapes. Ethnoscapes. Ethnos means, you've heard so many words with ethnos. Ethnocentric, ethnographic research, ethnicity, ethnic group. What is ethnos? Louder? People. So ethnoscapes refers to the flow of people. So there is large scale movement of people from one part of the world to another. Across national boundaries. Who are these people? Do you see people in India who are not Indian? Who are they? Tourists. They could be tourists. They could be students. They could be migrant workers. They could be refugees, asylum seekers. And how are so many people able to move in large numbers across national boundaries? For example, lot of Indians you will find in Gulf. How? Because of improvements in transportation technology. Now international transport is, or international movement, commuting is cheaper, quicker, safer. Third is technoscapes. Technoscapes. The flow of technology. Flow of technology. Any technology you use. Sorry? Be it anything. Metro technology कहाँ से आई है? जापान से आई है. मैं ये देख रहा हूं, दिस थिंग आई एम यूजिंग, इट्स मेड इन ताइवान. यू यूज व्हाट्सएप, देश में बना है क्या? यू यूज फेसबुक, देश में बना है क्या? नो. इंटरनेट इन जनरल, देश में बना है क्या? नो. दीज वर ऑल टेक्नोलॉजीज दैट वर created, developed, refined in some other part of the world, which has now flown to various other parts of the world and are being used widely. Yes or no? So there is a flow of technology. Next is financescapes, ethnoscapes, technoscapes, mediascapes. Mediascapes. मतलब flow of images, information, entertainment and news across the globe. Images, entertainment, information, news is flowing across the globe. For example, Hollywood movies, made in English language, produced by Americans, with American actors, they are watched across the globe. How many of us have watched Hollywood movies? Yes or no? This is globalization. Likewise, global news agencies, news networks. Yes or no? Like Star News, CNN, BBC, agencies like Reuters, Al Jazeera, so many. You will find they are to a good extent, they are playing a major role in dissemination of news and information globally. Yes or no? So आप इंडियन न्यूज रिपोर्ट्स में भी देखोगे कि फ्रॉम रॉयटर्स या समथिंग करके. हाँ. Finally, ideascapes. Ideascapes. Movement of ideas across the globe. Which ideas? Ideas of liberal democracy, freedom, human rights. So these ideals, which are integral to Western liberal democratic polities, have now spread across the globe. Arab Spring हुआ Arab world में, very different culturally, geographically, in every which way from the West. But Arab Spring basically espoused which ideals? These Western liberal democratic ideals. Yes or no? India की भी community या society जो है very different from the West. यहाँ पे भी जो political ideals हैं वो कौन से हैं? Western liberal ideals हैं. ठीक है? So these 5 scapes, 5 flows mark globalization according to Arjun Appadurai. Marshall McLuhan, he coined the very famous phrase to refer to today's world that has become synonymous with the idea of globalization. What do we call this world, which is so intimately interconnected? It's a global village. Marshall McLuhan coined the term global village. Why? Why do we call the world, this interconnected world, a global village? What do you mean by a village, or what is the nature of a village community which we now see on a global scale? ये कह रहा है पूरा दुनिया एक गांव जैसी हो गई है. गांव कैसा होता है बिटिया? सेल्फ सफिशिएंट है, but that's another thing. हाँ. Bonding. So see, a village community is very close knit. People intimately know each other. Yes or no? There are abiding social relationships amongst the people in a village. Now that is being replicated at a global scale. There is regular communication between people in a village. Yes or no? वही 500,000 लोगों का गांव होता है. आप घर से बाहर निकले, फिर चौराहे पे बैठ गए, वही पुराने लोग आपको मिलेंगे जिनसे आप डेली बतियाओगे. That's now happening on as if the world has become a village. People are interacting regularly, with a great sense of familiarity, intimacy with people far across. Staying miles and miles away. Are you with me? And what has made this possible? Technology, communication technologies, information technology. Developments in these fields. So, for example, I have had students staying in other UPSC aspirants in other parts of the world. Koi Dubai based tha, koi US based tha. And just like I interact with you guys or with my online students who may be in Patiala, similar kind of interaction I would have with my student in a US of A या in Dubai. समझ रहे हैं आप क्या फर्क है? जितना मेरे लिए पटियाला वाला दूर है उतना ही मेरे लिए दुबई या यूएसए वाला दूर है. We are for each other both a phone call away or a message away. Yes or no? In as much real time as I am connected to the Patiala person, I am also connected to the US person. My lecture, if it is being delivered to the Patiala boy live, it is also being delivered to the US guy live. There is as if no difference between a few, whatever, kitta hai Patiala. You get it, right? Between a few kilometers of Patiala and many more kilometers of US of A. It really makes no difference. Why Patiala, koi Lakshmi Nagar बैठ के देख रहा हो, या कोई US से बैठ के देख रहा हो. Lakshmi Nagar is in Delhi for the uninitiated. Okay? It is the same thing. लिखिए, Marshall McLuhan coined the term global village to indicate the free and regular exchange of information and forging of social relationships across the globe due to advancements in ICT. Full stop. It is as if the world has become a small, close-knit and compact community, frequently interacting with each other, in real time. ठीक? तो ये हो रहा है दुनिया भर में. For example, friends, I'll share, in my youth, I fell in love with a woman who was living in Australia. I was living in Delhi, and I fell in love with somebody who was living miles and miles away in Australia. I never met her in my life. But the feelings were very real. There were no laughing matter. Very real. We decided to get married. It was so serious. Sorry? नहीं, बनिया नहीं थी. यही समझ नहीं थी तब मुझे. ठीक है. So eventually she did get married. Okay? To somebody else. And that was hurtful because she was also elder to me and I was only 20 years old. Sorry? Yahoo chat. हमारे टाइम में होता था एक याहू चैट करके ना, तो सब अकेले लोग उसी पे जीवन बिताते थे. ठीक है. But it was a very real, intense. So I used to collect money with whatever little pocket money I used to get, and I used to make ISD calls to her. Because Yahoo calls, they were used to get interrupted. And it was super expensive. I spent real money, okay, to connect. And we both cried, when she, marriage got this thing. We both really cried because it was so, because it really hurt. So point is, friends, it was not a virtual thing. It was not, it was as real as it gets. That's what I'm trying to tell you. For the people involved, have any of you been in any kind of virtual relationships like this? Or you're too embarrassed to share? Long distance is quite another. But these things happen, right? I even made my mother talk to her on Yahoo Chat. And I told my mom two things. You won't laugh. Because she had an accent. She was an Indian. Her name was Sonia. But she had an accent because she had been born and brought up in Australia. And I told her, I told my mom, you won't laugh and you won't tell anybody. And she did both of these. First, she really laughed. Okay, that she was like, "Ye bachcha abhi paida bhi nahi hua hai and he intends to get married." And then she told everybody, that really hurt. But point is, friends, when you are going through those emotions, those relationships, they are very, very real. They are as real world as, say, a face-to-face relationship. So that is why we call it a global village. मुझे भी लग रहा था मैं अगले गांव से ही तो लड़की ला रहा हूं. ठीक है? हाँ. क्या लिखा है हमने? नहीं, have I dictated for Marshall McLuhan? ठीक है? W.E. Moore. Moore. One of the students is asking, was it catfishing? No, it wasn't catfishing. Catfishing is when a boy takes on a girl's identity, which all of us have done possibly. See, we start doing it कि दोस्तों के साथ करने में मजा आएगा, and then we start enjoying it. Okay, our bisexual side takes over. है ना? खैर, one of the online students, he fell in love with a Serbian girl. See? And he says, heartbreaking, in the end, caste endogamy prevails. I don't know how Serbia maybe you were. Khair. Guys, W.E. Moore has underlined the need for a global sociology. बहुत हुई Indian sociology or Western sociology. What do we need now? Global sociology. Because the life of man anywhere is affected by events and processes everywhere. The life of man anywhere is affected by events and processes everywhere. So it's not just things which are happening in my own town or village or city or country which affect me. Those events which may be taking place outside of my national borders, hundreds of miles away, will and do have a very serious impact on my life. Yes or no? For example, those engaged in stock trading, what do? The first thing, before the national stock exchange opens, they will see how the stock markets in other countries are doing. कि भैया निक्की जापान में इतना डाउन है, हाँ न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की ये हालत है, because that has a bearing on the Indian stock markets. Are you with me? कहते हैं कि when the Fed chairman sneezes, the world economy catches a cold. Fed chairman मतलब Federal Reserve का, US का जो RBI है. So the interest rates that they decide upon, that will have a cascading effect on global economies across the globe. Are you with me? Subprime crisis US में हुआ, उसका एक spiral effect different countries में मिला. आज के दिन रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर हो रहा है, various countries, including India, are worried. How will it affect? या अगर गाजा में कुछ हो रहा है, people are worried कि how will it affect gas supply, oil supply, या oil prices पे क्या effect होगा? Yes or no? Will the flare up, spread to the wider region? Are you with me? So whatever is happening in one part of the globe is a matter of concern and affects the lives of those hundreds and hundreds of miles away. So we live in an increasingly integrated, interconnected, intimately interconnected world. I'm being asked to dictate Moore again. Moore said, did I just last mention Moore? He has highlighted the need for developing a global sociology because the life of man anywhere is affected by events unfolding everywhere. ठीक? What is your question about Ayman? You're asking whether it is connected. What? Absolutely. Another student is suggesting we can take the example of Corona. So somebody consumes bat soup in some Chinese wet market and the world literally catches a cold or a cough. That too a deadly one. Can you repeat the name of the book by Arjun Appadurai? Modernity at Large. Dash the cultural dimensions of globalization. Chaliye, Anthony Giddens. Very good. Argues that globalization entails a compression of the social space. Compression of the social space. It's a very ironic kind of a phrase. We say that with globalization, the world is growing smaller. Generally, things grow bigger. Or when they grow, they become bigger. Right? But with globalization, the world is growing smaller. Matlab we are becoming more and more interconnected. We are coming more and more close to each other. Yes or no? So the distances which earlier existed, say between races or cultures or peoples, they are now getting reduced. With that, you've earned yourselves a break. Please settle down. And we continue. Chaliye. What have we written last? What about Giddens? One person only, thanks. Compression of the social space. क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? Giddens highlights how globalization not only affects the economy, but each and every aspect of our collective lives. It affects not just the economy, but each and every aspect of our lives. Let us try to appreciate how it affects various aspects of our lives. How does globalization, friends? You will tell me. How does globalization affect, say, the family and kinship patterns? Does it? How? In the sense, tell me from any first-hand kind of experience, first-hand in the sense, you are not grown up or you're not old enough to have lived in both pre and post-globalization eras. But whatever you may have heard from elder siblings or family members कि हमारे ज़माने में ऐसा होता था, but अब globalization के ज़माने में family life में ये changes आए हैं. Anything? Any changes in family life, kinship patterns, which can be attributed to globalization or during globalization, or not. Possibly it has not impacted in any way. Maybe family and kinship are immune to the forces of globalization. Bolo na, Bitya? After marriage there is a function called reception, okay? After marriage, नहीं, after the wedding ceremony. है ना, marriage तो होती है पूरी शादी. हाँ? After the wedding ceremony, there is a function called reception. Whether, yes, okay. Earlier, the bride used to sit like a proper bride with haya and everything, the works. Now she wears a sleeveless sari. Huh? You mean a sleeveless blouse with a sari, I presume. है ना? Which is okay. Huh. So the Indian Vadhu is now missing the haya, huh? Which was earlier her gehna. Huh? Brother? Rising individualism, and how is it affecting family life? Nuclearization. Absolutely. Brother? Power balance has shifted in favor of? In? Okay. हाँ. But that's not a very apt thing to say about the Indian family. Okay? The rise of the symmetrical family was in the context of the West. But yes, you are right to the extent the power balance within the Indian family is also changing or shifting from the patriarch to the adult male members, the working adult male members of the family. हाँ, बिटिया. Tell me about family. Family and kinship. हाँ, खाने पीने की बात भी करेंगे, but later. Brother? Matrimonial websites, bilkul, they have emerged. That's a feature of, or that has been during the globalization period. Bitya? Neo-local residence. Rituals have shortened. Wedding functions are shorter. Bitia? Which? Baby adoption. Okay. So how do you link it to globalization, baby adoption patterns? ठीक है, so you're saying there's an increasing, people are more open to adopting children now, which they earlier were not, huh? You can call it adoption, na? Baby adoption, it's like understood, huh? Yeah, child adoption, ठीक है? ठीक है, baby's adoption, huh? Because maybe in English movies we hear, huh? Hi baby. Huh. Brother? Cell phones and smartphones, how are they affecting family? More time on phones than with family members. Brother? More filiocentric. Importance of children is increasing, absolutely. There's a channel called Choo Choo TV, okay? Crores of subscribers. Yeah, my children also watch some YouTube channels which are like very popular. Yeah, they're very innocent and very rubbish kind of content, but massively popular. What do you do? हाँ, आप कोई सोशियोलॉजी का वीडियो डाल दो, उस पे 50 व्यूज नहीं आएंगे. हाँ, ब्रदर, marriage patterns have been affected. How? Indian couples are going out for destination weddings and all, okay, but that's a very minuscule fraction of the population who can afford destination weddings, etc. है ना? है, but बहुत कम लोग कर सकते हैं या करते का सोच भी पाते हैं. ठीक है? So it's not like a very widely prevalent this thing. हाँ, brother? Increasingly, people are keen on moving abroad. Okay. Bitia? Increased importance of affinal bonds. And how is that attributable to globalization, if it is? How? Okay, due to influence of Western cinema. Brother? Inter-ethnic marriages इंडिया में नहीं होती. इंडिया में नहीं होती. हम अपने रिलीजन के अंदर इंटरकास्ट कर लें, वही बहुत बड़ी बात है. बहुत बड़ी बात है. ठीक है? हिंदू मुसलमान कर लें तो सीधा लव जिहाद हो जाएगा. ठीक है? और कुछ भी और कर लें तो बहुत बड़ा पाप हो जाएगा. हाँ, ब्रदर? Okay, so the earlier strict regimentation or strict kind of hierarchical relationships have given way to more, what should I say, open communication within the family. Brother? Girls are given more liberty based on Western values. Yes, they are laughing freely in the classroom. You have something to... What do you mean given? Huh? That's the feminist khanjar in your back. Huh? Now we don't put on you. So we give you freedom. Huh? Huh. मानो ना मानो आपको दी गई है, he's saying. आजादियां. खैर. So absolutely, there are important changes in family and kinship patterns. JP? No, that's GP Murdoch. JP Singh. JP Singh argues that the disintegration of the joint family has accelerated या retarded during globalization? The disintegration of the joint family has accelerated during globalization. Earlier, friends, people, or say brothers, used to part ways, start living separately after the death of the patriarch. Are you with me? But now, पहले बाबूजी के नजरों की का लिहाज होता था, बड़ों की आंखों की शर्म होती थी, तो भाई साथ में रहते थे, जो भी मनमुटाव होते थे वो मन में दफन करके एक ही छत के नीचे रहते थे. पर अब बर्दाश्त नहीं होता. सो ब्रदर्स आर नाउ सेपरेटिंग सूनर ड्यूरिंग द लाइफ टाइम ऑफ द पेट्रियार्क. ठीक, बाबूजी की नजरों की शर्म गई, बाबूजी भी ठीक है. So that's why nuclear joint families are disintegrating sooner. Huh? The family size is, in size the family is shrinking or expanding? Shrinking. So families are becoming smaller. There is an increasing trend towards nuclearization, towards family nuclearization. ठीक है. There is an increasing trend towards which type of residence? Neo-local residence. कि मम्मी जी पापा जी अलग रह लेंगे, यहां पे हम और आप अपना एक छोटा सा आशियाना बसाएंगे. Authority within the family is shifting away from the patriarch and into the hands of the adult male members, है ना, with an earning capacity. अगर मैं अपने भाई से ज्यादा कमा रहा हूं, बड़े भाई से, तो किसकी ज्यादा चलेगी घर में? हाँ, there is increasing discord and tensions within the family. Particularly between whom? घर के कलेश बढ़ रहे हैं, किनके बीच में? अनइमेजिनेबल लेवल्स तक पहुंच गए हैं, बियॉन्ड बर्दाश्त. विच? नहीं, सास बहू, एब्सोल्युटली, बिटवीन द मदर इन लॉ एंड द डॉटर इन लॉ. सिंह कोट कहते हैं कि एक ओल्ड कन्नड़ सेइंग है that 100 mustache can stay together but 4 breasts cannot. And he says that is increasingly coming true in the era of globalization. मतलब 100 men can stay together but 2 women can't. He says that is increasingly coming true in this globalized, this current phase of globalization. So female discord, specifically mother-in-law, daughter-in-law discord, has become very acrimonious. ठीक है? सिंपल भाषा में घर में कलेश बढ़ रहे हैं. इतनी सारी इंग्लिश में हमने यही बोला. Discord and tensions within the family is also expressed in the form of क्या? कैसे निकालेंगे हम भड़ास? Domestic violence. Very good. Rising incidence of domestic violence. Increasing cases of separation and divorce. सिंपली लोगों की इस आपस में पटना कठिन होता जा रहा है. ठीक. Globalization, friends, is also affected in very significant ways our food habits. Has it or has it not? क्या हमारे खान पान पे कोई इसका प्रभाव पड़ा है? क्या? How has it affected our eating habits, if at all, or not? Are we eating anything different than what is being eaten in our society, in our families, 30, 40 years back? Or 1 or 2 generations back? Kya? Chinese food. Yes. There's an increasing trend of, increasing eating out culture as a recreational activity. Or एवोकाडो, ड्रैगन फ्रूट, देखने में भी वाहियात, खाने में भी वाहियात और महंगा. ऐसी ऐसी चीजें आ गई हैं. और बताना बेटा ऐसे 2-4 अंग्रेजी फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स. लेटस तो आई थिंक इट्स लाइक गोभी और समथिंग ओनली. नॉट गोभी, बट वन ऑफ द ओल्ड थिंग्स. ब्रसेल्स स्प्राउट्स, नोट इट. Guacamole is another name for avocado. Okay. Or broccoli. Gobi has been replaced by broccoli. Inexpensive places. Or boilies. Olives. Olives. Or ये जिसमें with a J silent वाला ना, jalapeno. Kiwi fruit. नए नए फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स. और जो इवन बाकी सेब वगैरह में अकेले इतने परफेक्ट आ रहे हैं. देखें, परफेक्टली शेप्ड, परफेक्टली कलर्ड, विद अ छोटा सा पर्ची, स्टिकर. सॉरी, बीफ, बेशरम, बट या बीफ. So yes, new food items are being added to our palate. See, Indian food palate is already very rich and diverse. There are numerous local cuisines. Yes or no? Say Punjabi food is very different from Malayali food, which is very different from Bengali food, which is very different from what we get in Rajasthan or Gujarat. To that, we have now added various cuisines from other parts of the world. Chinese cuisine has become popular. Items like burgers and pizza. Yes or no? Coca-Cola. They've all become very commonplace in Indian, amongst Indians. Momos. धड़ल्ले से बिकते हैं. ठीक है. यस और नो? इसी तरह कहां गया पेन? How is our clothing patterns being affected? Also, when we talk about food, we talk about addition of various different cuisines. Chinese items, continental items, Mexican dishes, and such. Secondly, newer types of fruits and vegetables. All the exquisite ones that she was naming, you can ask her. Okay? Or you can talk about increasing offtake of packaged foods. Packaged foods. Culture of eating out. Yes or no? Culture of ordering in. क्लोथिंग में क्या चेंजेस आए हैं क्या? हैव वी स्टार्टेड ड्रेसिंग अप डिफरेंटली विद ग्लोबलाइजेशन? हाउ? इंसान पहले भी 2 जोड़ी कपड़े पहनता था, अब भी 2 जोड़ी कपड़े पहनता है. क्या वो जोड़ी बदल गई है? छोटी हो गई है. How has it affected our clothing? Brother, how has it affected clothing in Rajputana? Rise of sneakerheads. What is this, sneakerheads? मतलब sneakerheads क्या लोगों को बोलते हैं, जूतों को बोलते हैं, किसको बोलते हैं? People who pay lakhs for shoes are called sneakerheads. Let me just, people who collect shoes, like Jayalalitha. She had a lot of shoes, pairs of footwear. But I suspect that must be a very minuscule fraction of the population, no? See, when we talk about it changes at the level of the society, then we have to look at what is prevalent amongst a very large section of the populace. And I suspect, how many of us can afford to collect shoes worth lakhs? And many of us who can afford won't collect shoes worth lakhs. And bulk of the population can't afford to do that. So with due respect, brother? Yes, पहले लुंगी वूंगी पहनते थे और अब जीन्स पहनते हैं. We have stopped wearing lungis, we've stopped wearing, और क्या होते हैं इंडियन? कुर्ते पजामे, धोती, साड़ी. Yes or no? घाघरा चोली. देखिए कोई दिल्ली में लड़की ऐसे घूमते हुए साड़ियों में, घाघरे चोलियों में. फैंसी ड्रेस कंपटीशन में देखने को मिलता है अब ये सब, या स्टेज प्लेज में मिलते हैं लोग धोती में या घाघरा चोली में. बारबी देखने गए थे आप, पिंक ड्रेस पहन के लोग गए थे. बिल्कुल. सो पॉइंट इज दैट लॉट ऑफ वेस्टर्न वेयर इज नाउ कॉमन प्लेस. स्टफ लाइक जीन्स एंड बर्म्यूडास एंड शर्ट्स एंड पैंट्स. कुछ भी तो देसी नहीं है ये. और स्नीकर्स. व्हेन डिड यू लास्ट सी समबडी वेयरिंग खड़ऊ? खड़ऊ वाज दोस वुडन slippers they used to wear in Ramji's times. Now please appreciate, these changes are not just at the level of, the educated, the elites, the rich, or the, city-based upper strata of the society. These have percolated to literally the last man in the line. Widely prevalent in Indian society. आप किसी गांव में जाते हो, लोग वहां पे क्या पहने देखते हो? What do people wear in villages today? They wear t-shirts. They wear shirts and pants, and school children will be in shirts and shorts and skirts. Yes or no? School girls in villages will be in skirts, which are Western wear. In the city, you look at a beggar, or you look at working class manual laborers. What will they be wearing? Pants and t-shirts and shirts. You look at rickshaw pullers, they'll be wearing jeans and t-shirts. Are you with me? So this is not confined to an educated elite stratum of the society. इसी तरह food items. Pizza, burger, चाउमीन, मोमो सिर्फ पढ़े लिखे या अमीर लोग नहीं खाते हैं. कौन खाते हैं? सब खाते हैं. सब खाते हैं, वाकई में सब खाते हैं. In Saket, where I stay, like the side South Delhi where I stay, you get Gupta ji ka burger for 5 rupees. Massive tasty and massively popular. 5 rupees. इतना भी सस्ता नहीं है. But point is, it's like the lowest strata of the urban social landscape is consuming burgers. Momos देख लो आप, हर कोई खाता है. चाउमीन, आपको गांव में मिल जाएगा चाउमीन, गांव में मिल जाएगा मोमोज. Yes or no? तो हमारे फूड हैबिट्स चेंज हो गए हैं हमारे एज अ कंट्री. इवन चाय, आई वाज सो हर्ट टू नो, चाय इज नॉट इंडियन. Chai is Chinese. शायद वहीं से हमने उनको नाम दिया चाइना, कि चाय लाना लाना, तो उसको शॉर्ट करके चाइना. चाय, bread. Bread is not an Indian roti or an Indian bread. But it's become now very common. Roti is Indian. Bread is not Indian. The double roti is not Indian. Roti is? It's a type of bread. I'm saying the bread like the Britannia bread you get, yeah. That's not like, So our clothing for a very large chunk of the population has changed. Yes or no? Clothing हो गए, food habits हो गए, family and kinship patterns हो गए. Language. How has language been affected? Has it been affected by this process of globalization? Any changes in the linguistic landscape you see or notice? Brother, in Lucknow there was a seminar on modern day Indian language. Piyush Mishra, yes, very brilliant actor. We are moving to a language called English. Yes, and what? So how does it, what did he say? How does it affect us? Bilkul. So we are using a spattering of English words in Hindi sentences. है ना? हाँ. और उसके क्या implications हैं? Others can also contribute. Brother, we are losing our own languages. Like Shuddh Hindi या Punjabi. Brother, personal observation. When we lose our language, we lose our culture. हाँ, जो लखनवी अंदाज होता है, that politeness has gone. It has been replaced by more coarse languages. क्या? हाँ, मतलब एक लठमार सी भाषा है ना, has replaced that लखनवी लहजा, which was known for fluency. Fluency नहीं, क्या बोलते हैं, मिठास एक तरह की. हाँ, बिटिया. Your roommates in college were very proud of not knowing Hindi. हाँ, ये भी एक अलग शान है. हाँ, मेरे को हिंदी नहीं आता है. So, though I was born in Bihar, but it's just that I've been in Delhi for so long. She lived in a non-westernized part of Bombay. Brother, foreign languages have become a status symbol. Not just a way of communication. Bilkul. Brother, those who speak good English are considered as, repositories of wisdom, like yours truly. Brother. Vernacular literature is also faded away. Hey, कब था लास्ट मुंशी प्रेमचंद या दिनकर? बिल्कुल. So एक literary decline in standards of literary output is also witnessed. बिटिया, हमारे हिमाचल में every 10 kilometers language change होती है. So they don't know, many children there grow up without knowing their own mother tongue. Bilkul, friends. So a lot of these developments are taking place. Let us, for example, क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? Rita Menon. Banerjee, no, another Rita. Rita Kothari. And Rupert Snell. In their book, Chutneyfying English, we have chutneyfied it. They have highlighted the significant social consequences of the process of, have highlighted the social significance of the process of hybridization of languages. Hybridization of languages. During the era of globalization. Hybridization matlab, languages are not being spoken in their pure forms, but rather a mixed usage. What he was mentioning, what we call Hinglish. So English क्या एक hybrid language है. It is Hindi plus English. ये English type की भाषा, how did it emerge? How did it develop? Or when? Any guesses or any inputs from Piyush Mishra? Anything or any observations, individual observations? When do you suspect such mixed, hybrid languages like English? And it's not just Hindi which is being used with a smattering of English words. Also, Punjabi is mixed with English to give rise to Canada visa, all right. Pinglish. And Bengali is being mixed with English to give you English, and so on and so forth. No, not English. The advent of English in the Indian subcontinent was, of course, during the colonial or with the advent of the British. But the development of English as a language, as a hybrid language, can be, or its seeds were sown during the 1990s. 1990s. It began during the 1990s. And the development of such hybrid languages was pioneered by who? Who were the first to begin using, the local language with a smattering of English words? Who? Not movies. Not movies. BPOs. No, they spoke Americanized English. So Jignesh become John in the BPO. Where? कांग्रेस? नहीं, आप सोच रहे हो कि सोनिया गांधी के साथ? नहीं. I am your देश की बहू. नहीं, it didn't begin with her. It began in the college campuses. College campuses. In the metropolitan cities, in premier educational spaces like Delhi University. And other such premier educational spaces, DU colleges jaise, the students started using English. I was in college, say, late 1990s and onwards. So I really recollect, so I was, during the earlier 1990s, I was in higher standards in school. So I recall, from personal experience also, how we used to use such sentences. For example, we started using the word yar in our everyday communication, which is now also commonplace. Ki yaar, let's go. Yes or no? We used to say, ki yaar, let's go to K-Nags to have some chatpata golgappas. Like that. K-Nags is Kamla Nagar. It's a market near Delhi University campus. Okay? So that's how students started talking. Why? Why not use pure English or pure Hindi? Can't I tell my friend, or didn't I have the bandwidth or the knowledge or linguistic skills to tell my friend कि मित्र चलो कमला नगर की तरफ प्रस्थान करें और गोलगप्पों का आनंद उठाएं? Or couldn't I have said it in English? Why do we use English? What is the message that the users of this language are sending? Kya? Cool. That is the key word. It began as a language to express youth, to express uber cool. कि भैया हम with it generation है. See, when I use English, why do I use English? What does it indicate? What does the use of English indicate? नहीं, cool तो मैं English से होता हूं. English से मैं क्या होता हूं? That I am high status. If I use English, that means I have infinitely higher status than you, no matter what is your bank balance. Yes or no? If I have a good command over the English language, it indicates high social status. Then why do I use Hindi along with English? What does that indicate? If I have to indicate high status, then I can just go about, throw, or I can show off my English. But then why do I use Hindi? To indicate that I am comfortable in my own skin. That I am not, I don't hide my cultural identity. Are you with me? तो आपको ये बताने के लिए कि मैं बहुत उच्च श्रेणी का हूं, मैं इंग्लिश भी यूज करता हूं और साथ में हिंदी भी करता हूं, ताकि आपको बता दूं कि मैं अपनी इंडियन या हिंदी स्पीकिंग आइडेंटिटी से भी कंफर्टेबल हूं. यस और नो? सो द यूथ इन ट्रेंडी कॉलेजेस, in metropolitan cities, in colleges and university campuses, they began or they pioneered the use of hybrid languages like English to indicate high social status, rootedness, and a sense of self-confidence. Are you with me? Now this segment of the population, पढ़े लिखे DU के सेंट स्टीफन जैसे कॉलेज या हिंदू कॉलेज जैसे या JNU वाले झोला वालाज, ठीक है, these are the guys who pioneered the use of such languages. But then this was a comparatively small segment of the Indian population. How did this English garner a wider appeal? Today, is it only this segment of the population? The, city-based college students who use English? Is it only this segment today? No, it is not. A large chunk of the masses also use English. So how did it reach from this very limited set of people to a wider audience? How? Yes, particularly advertising industry. See, this was 1990s was the decade when the multinational corporates, the MNCs, they were coming to India trying to tap its vast markets. So they came out, they engaged these advertising agencies who came out with these very catchy advertising campaigns and slogans, many of which were in English. And they popularized it amongst the masses. So one of the most pioneering ad campaigns in this direction was that of Pepsi. Pepsi. उनका एक कैंपेन था कि ये ही है राइट चॉइस बेबी आहा. So that's a very, novel mix of Hindi and English. ये ही है हिंदी right choice baby. English, aha, all languages. And that campaign was a stupendous success. Massively popular. And Pepsi was launched with that campaign. They had roped in Aishwarya Rai, Amir Khan for that campaign, and it was a roaring success. Since then, MNC after MNC, they have lapped up this hybridization of languages to connect with a wider audience. So scores of campaigns across product categories कि मम्मी का मैजिक चलेगा क्या, वर्लपूल वगैरह का किसी का है, समझ रहे हो? मम्मी भूख लगी 2 minutes, है ना, मैगी, समझ रहे? ऐसे करके बहुत सारे कैंपेन्स आए. इसको लगा डाला तो लाइव झिंगा लाला. नो मनी नो चिंता, नो मनी चिंतामणि चिंतामणि, ऐसे करके एक है किसी इंश्योरेंस का. न्यूमरस सच कैंपेन्स, एंड दीज बिकेम अ मैसिव हिट. And these advertising campaigns, largely to promote, Pizza Hut का क्या है वो? Hungry क्या? Pizza Hut या Domino's, one of the pizza guys. है ना? Hungry क्या? Hungry plus क्या? तो ऐसे इन्होंने खूब हमें चेपा और हमने चेपने दिया. Eventually, friends, it has today become very commonplace. Use of hybrid languages is no more confined to an elite stratum of the society. It has today become very commonplace. When I say commonplace, friends, I talk about, or I always keep in mind, the lowest stratum of the society. Lowest matlab the poor, villagers, समझ रहे हैं? The urban poor. इस टाइप के सेगमेंट्स क्या भाषा बोलते हैं? So, for example, if somebody asks your driver his profession, what does he say? आप क्या करते हो? मैं ड्राइवर हूं. Does he say मैं एक वाहन चालक हूं? No. He says मैं ड्राइवर हूं. Yes or no? If you have to ask time to a stranger in a bus or a train, what do you say? भाई साहब, टाइम क्या हुआ है? Do you say समय क्या हो रहा है? You don't. है ना? You say, irrespective of the class to which you belong, कि भाई साहब, टाइम क्या हो रहा है? A very ordinary conversation in, say, public, commute through public transport would be कि भाई साहब डिस्टेंस मेंटेन कीजिए. यस और नो? मैडम सॉरी, गलती से टच हो गया, है ना? आर यू विद मी? भाई साहब थोड़ा सा स्पेस दीजिए, मैडम थोड़ा एडजस्ट कीजिए. व्हाट आर वी डूइंग? वी आर कन्वर्सिंग इन हिंदी प्लस इंग्लिश. इट्स बिकम वेरी कॉमन प्लेस. ठीक है? So it started from college campuses, city, premier educational spaces in the cities. Through advertising industry and use of mass media, it has now percolated down to literally all segments of the society. What are the social implications of this process of hybridization of languages? Let us try to appreciate. हाइब्रिडाइजेशन से क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है, बात ही तो कहनी है, चाहे इस भाषा में कही या उस भाषा में. डज इट मेक अ मैसिव डिफरेंस? It makes. Please appreciate, friends, language is the basis of the formation of the society. Language is the key medium in which not only people communicate, but also think. हम भाषा का प्रयोग केवल वार्तालाप के लिए नहीं, सोचने के लिए भी करते हैं. So any changes in the linguistic medium are bound to have important social repercussions. For example, friends, you know, literary critics या language purists, they rue the decline of pure languages. रू मतलब दे बिमोन, दे लैमेंट, वो दुखी होते हैं इस चीज को लेके कि अब लैंग्वेजेस प्योर नहीं रही. कि टुडे नाइदर शुड द हिंदी स्पोकन नॉर द क्वींस इंग्लिश. आर यू विद मी? व्हाट वी हैव इज सो दे सी दिस प्रोसेस ऑफ हाइब्रिडाइजेशन एज लीडिंग टू अ डिक्लाइन in literary standards. Language purists see hybridization of languages resulting in a decline in literary standards. One, what may be considered as a shortcoming, है ना, or as a lamentable development. But please appreciate. Now, what we are saying here, friends, you know, for example, you look at a Nehru. He communicated in impeccable English, faultless kind of an English, right? He kind of, yeah. This is what happens with, you know, when you're not linguistically competent. He represented like very pristine kind of English, unadulterated British English. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he spoke in chaste, shuddh, unadulterated Hindi. He was a master of that. But Modi ji, he speaks in English. But please appreciate, Modi ji is also a very effective communicator. Very effective. He can touch people's chords, you know. He can like literally touch all the right places in a person's heart, depending on the audience he is addressing. So what I am saying is that the development of hybrid languages like English, they have also enabled the political leadership to establish a deeper connect with the populace. They have enabled the political leadership to communicate more effectively. मोदी जी ऐसे भाषा बोलते हैं जो जनता को समझ आती है. जैसे पहले कंपनीज ने, एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसीज ने और एमएनसीज ने यूज करी, अब पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स यूज कर रहे हैं इंग्लिश का, है ना. प्लीज अप्रिशिएट फ्रेंड्स, सिंस इंडिपेंडेंस लैंग्वेज हैज बीन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सोशल आइडेंटिटी इन इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स. इट इज द लिंग्विस्टिक आइडेंटिटी बेस्ड अपॉन विच न्यूमरस स्टेट्स हैव बीन फॉर्म्ड. लिंग्विस्टिक identity, linguistic pride has been an important line along which regional aspirations have been expressed. Yes or no? Now, with hybridization of languages, the moot question is, will the people be as strongly attached to Tinglish as they were to Tamil? Are you with me? Now that a lot of us are speaking these hybrid languages, does linguistic pride and linguistic identity still resonate with people politically? Question mark. I'm asking you a question. Tell me. Very interestingly, if you note, point is the importance of linguistic identity as a political force has declined. Why I say that? None of these states created since or carved out since LPG reforms has been based on linguistic identity. Many states earlier, which were established earlier, were primarily along linguistic lines. Primarily. Yes or no? But globalization era mein, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, and most recently Telangana, none of them have been established based on a linguistic identity. So salience of language as a political identity has declined. ठीक? Chandrabhan, not Pratap, but close. Prasad, Chandrabhan Prasad. Who is he? Who said Prasad? Who is he? Yes, he is a Dalit scholar activist. है ना? He's a Dalit intellectual. So he says that Dalits should worship English Devi. धन्यवाद भैया. भैया, this Saraswati Devi is worshipped by who? Brahmanical Hinduism. She imparts knowledge in which language? Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the language of enslavement for Dalits. Dalits have been kept historically in a lowly position by depriving them access to Sanskritic knowledge. So if Sanskrit has been the knowledge of enslavement, English will be the language of empowerment. For the Dalits. So he established a English Devi temple in Barabanki in Uttar Pradesh. Will the society, anybody, expect an English-speaking Dalit, for instance, to clean toilets? Or to pick up litter from the streets? Or skin dead cows? Yes or no? No. Are you with me? So with acquisition of English skills, English speaking, English writing, English communication in general, Dalits will be able to effectively participate in the market economy. See, participating in the market economy requires English fluency. Can you get a job in any of these multinational corporates without English fluency? No. You need to be fluent in English. Yes or no? Even if you have to get a job as a coder, as a programmer, you not only need to know C++, you also need to know English. Job interview कैसे conduct करोगे? You will be asked questions in English. You have to respond in English. Your CV will be made in English. So English will be the language of empowerment. English will emancipate the Dalits. So we should worship English Mata. Goddess, English. In other words, friends, English is seen in this globalized economy as a language of emancipation by the marginalized sections of the society. Sanskrit was the language of oppression. English will be the language of liberation. ठीक? अगला लैंग्वेज से आगे बढ़ो. हाउ इज एंटरटेनमेंट एंड लेजर अफेक्टेड बाय ग्लोबलाइजेशन? इज इट? हाउ? इंडियन पॉप कल्चर. और बोलिए. सॉरी. बिंज वॉचिंग, कॉन्सर्ट्स. बिल्कुल. So a lot of entertainment options in India are fashioned along Western templates. Whether it is various web series that you guys nowadays watch, yes or no? Various programs on mass media like television. So you have a Big Boss in UK, I think same name, Big Brother in UK and Big Boss in India. Who wants to be a millionaire? कौन बनेगा करोड़पति? क्या आप 5वीं पास से तेज नहीं? Who is, are you smarter than a 5th grader? क्या आप 5वीं पास से तेज हैं? Yes? हाँ, America's got talent, India's got talent, है ना? ऐसे करके सैकड़ों. मास्टर शेफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया, मास्टर शेफ इंडिया. हाँ, शार्क टैंक यूएसए, शार्क टैंक इंडिया. है लॉट ऑफ सेम टेम्पलेट, सेम काइंड ऑफ दिस थिंग. उसमें इमोशंस वगैरह भी सेम दिखाते हैं कि कोई गरीब जीत रहे हैं, कोई विकलांग जीत रहे हैं. हाँ, एंड देन एवरीबडी द जजेस, एक जज रोएगा, एक चिल्लाएगा. हाँ, लॉट ऑफ इट इज अ वेरी काइंड ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड टेम्पलेटेड काइंड ऑफ अ फॉर्मैट which is followed, entertainment format, programming format, which is followed globally. Huh? Indian pop music drew heavy inspiration from Western pop music. एक एल्बम आई थी इनकी, क्या नाम है इनका, बाबा सहगल करके एक obnoxious पॉपुलर सिंगर होते थे. तो उन्होंने इनकी एक एल्बम आई, उसका नाम ही था मैं भी मडोना. मैं भी मडोना. मडोना इज अ पॉपुलर इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज स्टार, पॉप स्टार. And then so people like this, and there was this Alicia Chennai, they were very massively popular. A lot of their music styles were inspired, video styles were inspired from the West. एक वेस्ट में चला था बैकस्ट्रीट बॉयज, तो इंडिया में भी एक आ गया था. कुछ आ गए थे वो, मतलब वो 4-5 लड़के थे व्हाइट कपड़े पहनते थे बैकस्ट्रीट बॉयज के, तो इंडिया में भी 4-5 लड़के आ गए थे व्हाइट कलर के कपड़े पहनने वाले. आई एम फॉरगेटिंग द नेम. तो लॉट ऑफ सच इमिटेशन. नाउ यू हैव K-pop, K-dramas, rap music, lot of such inspiration. Social media may a lot of content. Lot of people are now consuming content like Turkish drama and serials etc. मैंने भी देखा था, अच्छा था. एक इजिप्ट या टर्की का कहीं का था. So all of that. How is politics, governance and administration changing? Is it or is it not? Please appreciate, friends. Globally, this trend of global integration into a world capitalist economy, it began with what? There was a world historic event which marked increasing emphasis on global economic integration. The fall of Soviet Russia, the disintegration of USSR. Since then, globalization world over has had a clear political agenda. Which is the spread of which type of political system? Western type, liberal democratic political framework, and communism, socialism. अरे भाई कैपिटलिज्म, हाँ कैपिटलिज्म, मुंह धो के आओ. The promotion of the Western liberal democratic political system and capitalism. In India also, this international development had a massive impact on our political economy, as we lost a very close and powerful ally in Soviet Russia. We had to search for newer friends on the global stage, or a newer daddy, if I may call it that. So we gravitated towards the US. We aligned our destiny far more closely to US of A. Integrated our economy in the global capitalist economy. In India, this globalization has also resulted in increasing civil society activism. Globalization also challenges conventional notions of state sovereignty. Challenges conventional notions of state sovereignty. Simply to open up our economy, was it our decision? It was imposed on us by the powers that be, because we suffered from a forex crisis. So conventional notions of state sovereignty are challenged. Globalization also results in, or has resulted in, improved forex reserves, higher tax collections. So what does the state do with these monies? More money which it is now making or collecting in form of taxes. Use it for various welfare purposes. So globalization के टाइम ने हमने एजुकेशन को फंडामेंटल राइट कर दिया. कोरोना एंड ऑनवर्ड्स हमने लार्ज करोड्स ऑफ पीपल को फ्री फूड ग्रेन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया, है ना. Various welfare measures can be then financed. Globalization, or during this period, it has also resulted in newer newer principles of governance being adopted. Newer approaches to governance being adopted, such as e-governance, M-governance, the discourse on good governance, concepts like citizens' charter. A lot of these have been inspired from developments in Western democracies. ठीक? Yogendra Yadav Singh died. He says globalization has resulted in significant rise in politico-administrative corruption. Politico-administrative corruption. You know, there's another scholar, Ashish Deshpande कोई नहीं है, सतीश है वो. Ashish, not Bose. Nandi. So Nandi, you know, once he was attending this Jaipur Literary Fest. Okay, you've heard of it? When new books are published, you go and talk about them there. So he made a comment in passing. He said that SC/STs and OBCs, they are more caught in corruption cases. And there was a hue and cry. There were protests at the festival venue. There was blockading of roads, protests in front of the Jaipur government secretariat, etc. Demands for his arrest, threats of FIR, etc. That's a very casteist remark that he's calling. He's saying that the SC/STs and OBCs are more corrupt. As if, so this guy is upper caste and he's casteist and he's saying that the lower castes are corrupt, which is clearly casteist and insulting. So he had to explain. And this is also what Yogendra Yadav is saying. He's not saying that they are more corrupt. He's saying they get caught more. SC/STs and OBCs tend to get caught more in corruption cases. Corrupt upper caste bhi hote hain, but wo pakde nahi jate hain. See, with what Yogendra Yadav is also suggesting, with globalization, what has happened? See, weren't we always corrupt? We are a corrupt people. So we've been corrupt since whenever. Why should it have increased with globalization? Why has politico-administrative corruption increased with globalization, brother? Due to rise in material aspirations, all right. See, two major developments that happened with or during globalization. On the one hand, huge sums of money got poured into the country. Large-scale projects, MNCs with very deep pockets, trying to grab land and projects. Are you with me? So large sums of money, never seen before kind of sums of money, got poured into the country. So there was influx of huge amounts of money from above and increasing participation from below. So various social groups, various marginalized communities who had never tasted power or become a part of the administrative machinery, they were now capturing political power. Are you with me? So we had a Dalit chief minister. Tribals became ministers. Various OBC castes. Are you with me? So there were newer, greater avenues and opportunities for corruption. And you also had willing participants. So that was a very heady mix, very conducive for increase in politico-administrative corruption. And hence the big ticket scams. जिसमें हमें दिखेगा फॉडर में मिलेगा, फॉडर में कमा लेंगे, कोल में मिलेगा, कोल में कमा लेंगे, किसी चीज में मिलेगा उसमें कमा लेंगे. Now why that incendiary kind of a statement, भड़काऊ statement, SC/ST OBCs? What, क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? Nandi. What he meant was that these guys, the upper caste, they have been at it since long. So they've developed very refined ways of corruption. But SC/STs and OBCs are relatively new to the game. So they don't have the finesse. Are you with me? For example, if I am an upper caste bureaucrat or political leader, and I favor you, okay, I grant you some contract, I will not be taking cash from you, which will be caught on a sleazy camera or whatever. Are you with me? क्या करूंगा? You will finance my son's education in a Harvard University through some scholarship or very well designed such kind of ways. Are you with me? In contrast, you had Bangru Lakshman. He was the head of the BJP. Okay? When the BJP was in power at the center, he was caught on camera taking rupees 10,000 as bribe, 10 or 20,000, which is a pittance for the leader of the national party which is in power. There was another Jharkhand chief minister who deposited crores in the bank, in a branch, a nondescript kind of a branch, somewhere in this thing. That branch had never seen in its entire existence such deposits, which he put at one go. So that obviously got flagged. Are you with me? So इनके तरीके सही नहीं हैं because they are new to the game. Okay. So point is that it has resulted in increased politico-administrative corruption. What has been the impact of globalization on the stratification system? On the stratification system. Bolo, brother. Okay, let me rephrase that. What has happened to caste? On the one hand, we see that along with caste, there is increasing salience of class. Wealth is becoming an increasingly more important basis of social stratification than caste. So relatively the importance of caste is declining, or should I say being overshadowed by the increasing importance of class. ठीक? आपको मेरी जात से मतलब है या मेरी जेब में कितना पैसा है उससे मतलब है? बोलो ना. पैसे से मतलब है. ठीक? कास्ट is also getting caste and casteism. Caste and casteism. Is also becoming increasingly a global phenomena. So caste-based discrimination you don't see only in India. You also see in the Silicon Valley, in the US of A, amongst the Indian diaspora. Yes or no? And we've discussed about it at length when we discussed caste, untouchability. As highlighted by Suraj Yengde, Caste Matters, Equity Labs जैसी organizations. Sorry? Berriman, he talks about how various other cultures also have similar structures. What we are ठीक? चलिए, coming to class stratification, what's happening to the ranks of the poor? The incidence of poverty, what has happened to it during the period of globalization? Has it increased, reduced, not been affected? What's happened to the incidence of poverty? Yes? there has been a significant decline in the incidence of poverty. Millions have been pulled out of poverty or above the poverty line during the period of globalization. So with improved economic growth or higher economic growth, the incidence of poverty has witnessed a significant decline. What has happened to the ranks of the middle class? Swelled. The middle class has nearly exploded. What do we call this middle class? Which has, kind of grown so big during this period? The new middle class. New middle class. It almost owes its existence to globalization. We've discussed it earlier. What has happened to Indian capitalists? The social base of Indian capitalists has widened. So it is no more confined to the traditional trading castes and communities as it once was. We've studied this earlier. There has been a process of sorry? Hey, we're talking about the capitalist class, no? That the social base of the Indian capitalist class has expanded. It is no more confined to the traditional trading castes and communities like Baniyas. Yes? Vaishyavization. Absolutely. A process of Vaishyavization. Matlab different OBC castes, scheduled castes, they are producing capitalists. Yes or no? Very also an important development is the emergence of a global economic elite. Global economic elite. They have emerged. A global economic elite has emerged, friends, which enjoys immense wealth and power. Immense wealth and power. An advocacy group by the name of Global Justice Now, first letters capital of course, Global Justice Now. Okay, it's an international advocacy group. They created a list of the world's top 100 economic entities. They listed the world's top 100 economic entities. In that list of top 100, friends, 69 were corporations and 31 only were countries. Out of top 100 economic entities in the world, 69 are corporations and only 31 are countries. So they rank both combinedly, corporations in terms of their revenue and countries in terms of their GDP. Okay? So it's a very startling kind of an observation to make. That these corporates, they enjoy, for example, friends, you don't need to note down this, but I'm just to give you a sense. Walmart, okay, is ranked at number 10 globally. The world's 10th biggest economic entity. Walmart is bigger than the economy of Australia, Spain, Netherlands, South Korea. Shell Corporation, you know Shell, petroleum giant? They are bigger than the economy of Mexico or Sweden. Companies like Exxon Mobil, Volkswagen, Toyota Motors, bigger than India. Apple, bigger than Norway, Russia. Berkshire Hathaway, bigger than Venezuela, Saudi Arabia. समझ रहे हैं आप? So these economic elites, those who own these corporations, they enjoy immense wealth and power. Almost unchecked wealth and power. And because of this immense concentration of economic wealth, it is resulting in massive social problems globally. Immense concentration of wealth in few hands is resulting in massive social problems globally. Such as grave inequalities, human rights violations, and climate change. And their power is literally unchecked. See, many governments are elected. So they are supposed to represent the interests of the people. But they are powerless before these corporate behemoths. So many of these corporates, they dictate state policy. Governments, instead of checking corporate power, are strengthening the hands of the corporates. They are unable to check corporate power and its misuse. In fact, government policies often result in increase in corporate power. ठीक? So point is, friends, that globalization as a process has affected nearly each and every aspect of our social lives. Of course, the economy is globally the economy is integrated, leading to free flow of money, manpower, materials, goods and services. But it's not just about that. It affects family and kinship patterns. It affects stratification system. It affects the polity and governance system. It affects each and every aspect of our social lives. And in very, very fundamental ways. It's not कि बस touch upon करता है या affect करता है. It has literally transformed various aspects of our collective lives. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.